Hey guys, Hillbilly Dude here, and today I wanted to talk to you about the Becker BK2 again. I did do a video a couple days ago about the specs on the knife, but it was really by the book, and I wanted to kind of explain to you why I think this makes a good survival knife or a good one-tool option if you're looking for a knife like that. And also I wanted to kind of show you some of the modifications that I've done to mine to make it more suited for me, okay? What I think helps it perform a little better in my opinion. So one of the first things I did was I tied the belt loop down, and I used the belt loop down here on the bottom of the sheath instead of up here by the handle. Okay, now when you get this knife, it will come with belt loop up here and it has a snap, but I didn't like the way that felt on my belt personally, so I tied it down, and that's the way I carry it, and it works great for me like that. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to try to show you some of the modifications that I've done to mine. And first of all, we'll talk about the sheath, okay? This is what I did the most to. It comes with a really good Kydex sheath, and it has really good retention, okay? So it's not going to fall out. That's why I felt like that belt loop with the snap was kind of unnecessary, because it just made it harder getting the knife out. It made it hang lower on my hip, so it flopped around more, and I've never been a big fan of using the leg straps. So I just tied that nylon belt loop down to the back of the sheath, and I put my belt through here so it rides higher on my hip like that, and the only thing I use to hold the knife in is the retention, okay? It does have a really good retention system, so it stays locked in. You're not going to lose this knife. There's no way it's going to fall out. The only way it could possibly come out is if you were running through the woods and you have a lanyard on it and it happened to get caught on a tree or something and really pull that out. But if that happens, you're going to know it. This knife weighs a pound, okay? So if you happen to just lose a pound off the side of your hip, you're gonna be able to tell that it's not there anymore. But the chances of that happen are pretty slim, especially for me. I'm not much of a runner, and you know, I've never had a problem with it, and I've carried it like this for years, okay? So that works out really good doing that for me. The second thing I did was I took advantage of these little eyelets that come on the sheath. There's two up top and two down here, and these down here I think were intended to be used for like a leg strap, like I said a while ago, but I don't need that. So what I did was I made one big long daisy chain out of some of this bank line, and this is just 150-pound bank line. You can get it at Walmart, and it's about 25 foot or so, and I just made one big daisy chain, so all you gotta do is pull it. It's one solid piece, and I fed it through here up around the back of the knife and then down out through the two bottom ones and tied it, so it's hanging on there. So I always have a cutting tool, I always have some good cordage, and the last thing I did was add a fire steel, okay? So I always have a way to make a fire too, and it's all in one nice little package. This is just to light my fire steel. It's red, so if I drop it, hopefully I'll be able to find it. I tied it onto the back. It stays there. It doesn't move. It doesn't stick out, so it's not really a problem. And with it being on the back like that, when it's up against me like this, you can't see it. So I wear this knife hunting a lot, and I wouldn't want something red, you know, just flashing out on the outside, but you can't see it, so it doesn't cause any problems. And that's really all I did to the sheath. It's actually a really good sheath straight from the box. Works great. And if you want to wear it up with the belt loop like it should be, that's fine. That's all preference, okay? There's only two things I did to the knife itself. The first thing was I added a lanyard, okay? This is just a little piece of paracord, and the only reason I did that was because this has a 5-inch blade. So with a 5-inch blade, you don't really get much leverage when you're trying to chop something with it. And if you want to use a knife as a one-tool option, you need to be able to chop, okay? So this has the weight for it. It has the spine for it. It's a good thick spine, and to give myself a little more leverage, I added a lanyard. And what I do is I put my pinky through here, I twist it down a couple times to kind of cinch it up, and that gives me tension, and basically this just extends the handle. And then I hook my two fingers down here, and now that knife is not going to come up because it's hooked on that pinky, okay? So I'm not going to lose it if I start chopping. It gives me a little better grip, and it extends the blade out. So instead of a 5-inch blade, now it's like I'm working with about a 9-inch blade, okay? And that gives you a lot more leverage when you're chopping. And if you haven't tried this, I recommend trying it, because that'll help a lot with any of your smaller knives like this. And the only other thing I did to it to modify it was I took the back of my pocket knife and I scored these plastic handles. It's just Grivery handles is what comes on this. It's just a hard plastic, but it is smooth, and that's one of the biggest complaints And so to fix that problem, I just made some marks on it with my pocket knife, and now it gives me a lot of traction whenever it's wet. You get plenty of traction. You don't have to worry about it sliding out of your hand so easy. You can buy replacement scales for this on Amazon, made out of micarta or wood or whatever floats your boat, but I didn't feel like that was necessary. You know, this handle that comes on it works great and it feels good to me, so that's what I did to modify it. And the only other couple things I want to talk about is why I think this would make a good one-tool option if you're looking for one. Okay, if you're looking for a survival knife or a one-tool option knife, you're looking for something that's going to cover a lot of bases. This fits the bill just as good as most any other knife that's designed like this. Okay, this is it's good quality. It's made by K-Bar to start. It is full tang. It has an exposed tang out the back, so it gives you the option to hammer down into wood like that, also to baton in like this. Like I said, it has a 1/4 inch spine. That's one of the biggest deal. And for me, one of the most important aspects is that it is a drop point. Okay, I do have a lot of clip point knives and they work good, but with a clip point design, you lose a lot of material behind the tip. And that really weakens the structure of it if you're going to use it batoning or chopping or doing something like that. Clip points are designed for puncturing and penetrating, okay? And that's why they work good on Bowie knives and combat knives and that kind of stuff. But for a knife that you're going to be beating on a lot and it's going to be taking a lot of abuse, you know, prying with and twisting and stuff like that, you really want a drop point. It gives you a lot more material right there behind the tip. It doesn't clip down, and also it stays thick all the way out to the end. Whereas a clip point, they usually have that false grind on the back, so it really weakens that a lot. And so for me, this fit the requirements to make a good one-tool option or a good survival knife in general. I carry this just about everywhere. The only downfall that I've seen to it is that it weighs a pound. So, I mean, it's definitely a lot heavier than most knives this size, but it's affordable. Right now it's $80 on Amazon. When I bought it, it was $60, but that was about 6 years ago. But it works good, you know. I mean, I haven't had any problems with it, and I've used it for a long time. It's got a good carbon steel blade, so it throws a good spark with a ferrocerium rod or even just a piece of flint. You know, it works out really nice. So I don't have any complaints on this knife, and the few things that aren't really perfect, you can kind of work with it and modify it. It's very open for modifications, and I really like that about it. And also, I recommend if you're gonna get into bushcraft or survival, make sure that you are modifying your knives and your tools to fit your needs. Okay, you don't have to go crazy and do a whole lot of stuff to it, but if you don't like the way it is from the store, then change it to fit you, because if you ever need that in an emergency situation, you need to be comfortable with it and you need to know what you're doing with it. So practice with it, set it up to fit you and how you like it, and get good with it. So anyways, this is just kind of a quick review of the Becker BK2 and some of the mods. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any suggestions, if you've done anything else that you think I should try, let me know. I'm always happy to hear new ideas. Thanks, guys.